So for months now, I've been working with Dr. Brad Morris on not just a weight loss journey, but a health transformation journey. And Dr. Morris, thanks to you, I'm a way healthier person. Something you explained to me when I first met you during our confidential consultation was visceral fat. Explain what the importance is, or what visceral fat actually is, and how important it is to have that number be lower.
Well, there's a couple different kinds of fat. We have visceral fat and subcutaneous fat. The subcutaneous fat is that fluffy fat that we feel around our bellies. But the more dangerous fat is the visceral fat. And what that means, it's the fat around your organs. So when those numbers are getting up there, it's dangerous to your health and your life. So, if you have fat around your heart and your liver and your pancreas, it's dangerous. It could cause a myriad of health conditions.
Yeah, and I started at a number 14, which was in what you call the red zone. What am I down to now? 7.7, I believe.
Yeah, I think you were 7.7. Yeah, anything
Yep.
below 12 is acceptable, and the lower the better.
Yeah, and Mackenzie, she's crushing it in that field. I think she's barely in a 1.
Yeah, I'm at
Yeah,
a 1.2.
1.2. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, so now I have a whole new goal to set. And again, I don't have my next meeting with you to go over my statistics until the end of the month, but I hope to have that down to a 5. Although I did just go on a cruise with my family, so I know that there was some items that I consumed that were not part of your program. I'll talk about that real quick. But I joke about how easy it is to lose unhealthy and unwanted fat by using Low Country Fat Loss, and by calling you at 843-962-6855, because I love to cook. And you only had me eliminate a couple of items from my regular diet and add a few items to my diet. And I'm actually eating healthier food, more natural food. I'm actually having a little more fun because I'm getting to experiment with things I never thought about mixing together with vegetables and proteins in the kitchen.
But that's one of the great things that I found with the program is because I do tell people what food to eat and what food not to eat, and it can get boring really fast. And so a lot of people have been getting creative, and so it's really great because everybody's telling me about it, and then I'm able to tell all the other people. I'm like, hey, well, this person made this, and they said it was fabulous. And a lot of these things I've done it for myself at home even, and so my daughter's talking about creating a recipe book from everybody's recipes that we've been learning. So it makes it a little bit more fun, especially if you like to cook, that you can eat healthy food that tastes good. And it's really crazy because when you start eating healthy food and then you eat unhealthy food, you're like, I really want this cookie. And then you eat it and you're like, that just really didn't excite me as much as I thought it was going to.
Yeah, and you don't miss it. One thing that what you had me eliminate, the very first thing you told me to do was get rid of the coffee creamer. Stop putting half and half or heavy whipping cream into your coffee. And I kind of freaked out. And that was my first initial thing. I'm like, I can't do this. And you said, yes, you can. And I did it. And within 5 days of trying plain black coffee, I don't miss it anymore.
Yeah, a lot of these things are comfort foods. Anything that's sweet and creamy sounds better than black coffee. But, it's really what you get used to. And if you like the flavor of coffee, all cream does is change the flavor. So in the problem with cream is if it's a non-dairy creamer or these fake creamers, there's a lot of chemicals in it. It does some negative things to our body, and even heavy cream. If you think about our dairy supply out there, it's just not that clean. And so a lot of people are having reactions they don't know. And so we eliminate those things mainly. And my whole goal is everybody wants to lose weight, but I want everybody to be healthy at the end of the day.
And it's not just that. Sorry, Nathan, go ahead.
No, and again, I am a healthier person. I feel so much better. And when I say feel better, I'm not sluggish anymore. I don't have any I don't have to take naps after work anymore. A lot of things have changed, and I'm not going to the gym and running on a treadmill for an hour to burn 1,000 calories. I used to do that and went nowhere, and that's where I stuck. That's when we initially met. I had plateaued. I was stuck at 221 for 18 months, and I couldn't figure out how to get past it. And you were able to help me get over that hurdle.
Yeah, a lot of people try to outrun a fork, and I'll tell you from personal experience, it's impossible. And even when we're doing these high intensity exercises, people like doing these CrossFits and running mile after mile. All of these things are inflammatory. And the name of the game is let's get rid of inflammation. Food is inflammatory on any level. I don't care how great the food is, it's still inflammatory. But bad food's really inflammatory. So the same thing with exercise. If we're out there pounding the pavement for hours, you're creating a lot of inflammation. The inflammation is hard on the body, and you can't lose weight. That's why people get stuck.
So what would you say is the reason to use your program at Low Country Fat Loss versus using one of the gimmicky programs that are available at other retailers, like say, for example, the grocery store, there's over-the-counter pills. And then there's, of course, there's these keto diets, other kinds of dietary programs that are out there. I call them the gimmicky diets because your program's not a diet. Your program is a lifestyle change.
Yeah. So what I want people to do is I want them to be healthy. And the biggest difference is I'm there to hold your hand throughout the whole thing. So, we have people putting in their weights into our system so that I can see it every day. And so if I see a change in weight, I send everybody a message that has a change and go, okay, what'd you eat? And so what I'm really trying to get across to people is go, did you see how you ate just a little bit? Because everybody always tells me, well, I just had a little bit. And I go, yeah, but it made you gain a half a pound or a pound overnight, which is virtually impossible to gain a pound of muscle or a pound of fat overnight. So it's definitely inflammation. So over the course of doing all this, I want people to keep their eye on that scale so that they can see what the food does to their body. And in addition, I'm creating a better digestive system. So now when we do go after one of these foods that isn't as good for us, but we really like them, usually it'll upset your stomach or it'll give you indigestion or you can't sleep. Something will happen. And so by the time people are done, I want them to have that knowledge of going, okay, I'm at my goal weight and I know that I'm going to weigh every day. And so if I gain over a half a pound overnight, I'm going to think back and go, okay, what did I eat? And figure out what that food is. Now, if you did it on purpose, you know exactly what it was. I tell everybody, I'm like, okay, so you did it, that's fine, but now you know not to do it and go back to your goal weight, and that way you can maintain it. So the big difference for us is maintaining. The sustainability of the weight loss is huge, and like you're talking about with these other diets, I don't care what one it is, paleo, keto, South Beach, Weight Watchers, you name them all. I can line up a million people that have done the diet, lost the weight, and they're right back where they were or even heavier. So the point I try to get to people is going, look at the scale. The scale is telling you what you did, and this way you will maintain that weight. Go ahead and go to the party and you can eat these things, and the next day you're probably going to weigh more. But now you know. So now you know you're going to go right back to eating clean again, because nothing tastes as good as feeling good. And so you take it right back down to your goal weight. Your body knows what it likes to weigh, but we beat our bodies up so bad that we get into an inflammatory state and we do it again and again and again. And that's how people gain the weight. You can do it. You can do it once, but make sure that before you ever do anything again, you go back to your goal weight. And that's the name of the game with sustainability.
Yeah, you call that the full metabolism reset. You go back to
exactly
where you were, and again, I freaked out when you told me to do that one day, but I did it, and then the next day I was right back to where I was. And I've actually exceeded. When I first started, I said I was going to do a goal of 195. We surpassed that. Now I set a goal of 175, and I'm so close to hitting it. Had I not gone on vacation and had that piece of cheesecake, and ate some junky food in the airport, I probably would be at that goal. So but the next time you see me in person, I will be at that goal, guaranteed.
Perfect. You've done a great job. You really have.
So, well, thank you. And again, I say how easy it is, and I don't make that as a joke, but it is so easy. There's no counting calories. There's no counting points. I don't buy prepackaged meals. I love to cook. When you start your program, the app that you have has recipe suggestions that show up every single day. And it was some things I would never thought of collaborating together food-wise. And I'm not a big seafood person, but I would just replace the seafood with, chicken or ground turkey. And my badass chili recipe is amazing with ground turkey and celery now. And it's just so good. And when you think about it, I don't worry about how much sodium's in it or how many calories are in it. As long as I have the right portion, my body's now portion controlled. And I guess that's probably the best way to say it.
Yeah, you're getting all your macros. basically. You got the right amount of proteins, the right amount of fats, and the right amount of carbohydrates, and it's the good carbohydrates.
So exactly, and obviously you have to have carbs in your life. You can't eliminate them altogether.
Yeah, it's not sustainable.
That'd be unhealthy. No, not at all. But again, it's easy, and again, you can get a quick, easy, confidential consultation with Dr. Morris. Call him right now at 843-962-6855, or if you don't want to pick up the phone and call, you can just hop on his website at lowcountryfatloss.com, and he'll get you in. And we can even do virtual visits like we're doing right now.
Absolutely.
Yep. All right, Mackie, you have probably the biggest success story. You started the program about 6 weeks before I did. I moved here. I said I was going to wait through the holiday season and get through trying out all the restaurants in Savannah since I just had moved into the city. So I was going to put that on hold come January 1st. But you started at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Which is crazy that you did that and still lost weight over the Thanksgiving holiday.
Right. So, needless to say, around the holidays, it is going to be harder because especially when you're brand new to a program such as the Low Country Fat Loss Program, it's going to be tough, even more tough than one would even consider in any other point, because it's the holidays, it's Thanksgiving, and then you have Christmas, and then you have New Year's and everybody's drinking or whatever. But the thing I love most about this is hearing like different lifestyle stories, like from where one started to where they are now. Like, for instance, Dr. Morris, I think we spoke about this the first time I met you. I was into a really strict CrossFit regimen, and I was like eating all the things and taking all the protein supplements. And I mean, yeah, if I wanted a certain, build or whatever, that's fine, but it wasn't what I wanted. It's not what I, at the end of the day, wanted as far as my happiness. So I jumped on the Low Country Fat Loss Program, and I mean, within like 2-3 weeks, I swear I started seeing it in my face, and like it started the inflammation, as you were speaking of, started like deflating, and it just started melting off. So I started at 180, and like I said, I got on the scale this morning and was 125, and my goal was 130. So I've clearly surpassed that. And I have a new goal of 120. Now, going back to people with different lifestyles and how this is different, this is a different journey for everybody. I think that's one of the amazing things about it, hearing all the different success stories and where they come from with this. But I do want to reiterate on the fact that there is zero exercise involved into this program, which I quite frankly love, because I was absolutely exhausted. And with how busy my schedule is, I can't fit it in. And I mean, people ask me, how are you dropping this weight? And their next question is, well, what kind of workout are you doing? And their jaws drop whenever I say, I'm not working out, I'm doing zero exercise. So can you reiterate more and explain more to these folks on why the exercise isn't necessary when it comes to the Low Country Fat Loss Program?
Well, when we exercise, especially like CrossFit is very high intensity. We're breaking down the muscle, and that's an inflammatory response. Anytime we're in an inflammatory response, your body is going to respond. And what happens is it starts to hang on. So when you're doing these things that are high intensity like that, your muscle breaks down, it inflames, and that's how it actually grows. But it's not a good weight loss program. If you want to exercise while on the program, you can actually go for a walk. I tell people, go for a 20-minute walk. You really don't need any more than that. But it still always goes back to inflammation. Why are these things happening to us? Because we are completely inflamed. That's the whole point behind the exercise. It's going, okay, well, I want to get rid of inflammation. I want you to burn fat. And so that's why the diet's set up the way it is so that we're burning your fat and not the fat that we eat, and we're not inflamed. So it's all about inflammation.
Right. And with inflammation, it's just kind of like not necessarily a Jekyll and Hyde, but this is like a other side of the coin when it comes to inflammation. there's the exercise portion of inflammation, and then there's like the crappy food inflammation. Like I ate like 3 pieces of pizza one night with like 2 glasses of wine. And when I went to bed at 11 o'clock, I was already feeling the inflammation, like in my legs, in my back. I slept like crap that night. And the next morning, it's not that I was hung. I mean, it was 2 glasses of wine, whatever. I mean, I wasn't hungover, but I knew it was because of those 3 pieces of pizza and those 2 glasses of wine. And it was just a slap in the face. And I was kind of like telling myself, this is your fault. You knew exactly what caused this. So we need to reiterate and go back and think about making the right choices when it comes to what we consume.
Yeah, even the wine, people always ask me, can they have any alcohol? And I do allow people to have alcohol. It's some things that they shouldn't drink. And of course, you can't go on a bender. But a couple glasses of wine probably wasn't your issue at all. It was definitely the pizza. And people don't think about inflammation like I do. If you sprain your ankle swells up. That's inflammation. But when you put something in your body, you get systemic inflammation. So a lot of my patients will report back to me that, since I've been doing this, I don't have knee pain anymore. And I'm going, it's because you have inflammation everywhere and you just happen to be feeling it in your knees. And so the pizza kicked your butt, and that's the learning experience right there. You felt it, you didn't sleep good, you felt horrible. And that's really what I want to get across to people. I'm like, see? And people ask me all the time, can I have that? When they hit their goal, they want to know, can I have that? And I go, sure, go ahead. And the next day I go, so how you feel? I feel like crap. I don't feel good. I go, I know. I just want you to experience it, because once you experience it, now, you said it perfectly. You're like, let me go back. I'm never doing that again, because you don't want to feel that way. And that's what I want people to get from the whole program at the end of the day, that you get that experience and you go, okay, I got it. I learned from that. And so the next time pizza's in front of you and it smells so good and it looks so good, and you're going, it's only gonna taste good right past my tongue. And then after that, it's gonna cause havoc. And nothing tastes as good as feeling good. Trust me.
Kind of like the PTSD that you actually want, like, right?
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
you experience something that hurts so bad, and it's
That's
like,
exactly
okay,
it.
it smells good, it looks great, but how are you going to feel tomorrow morning when you wake up? So yeah, I definitely don't like feeling like that whatsoever.
And I've been doing this for a really long time, and so people will ask me, go, would I really like to have this? And I go, okay, well, we can do it. It's not going to be exactly that, but it's going to taste like it. And I think that's the goal. And I think that's where Nathan's really good at, because he likes to cook. So he can take good, clean food and make it taste like bad food. And that's something that I've experienced, where I've made something and I'm eating it and I'm like, oh, you better slow down. I'm like, wait a minute. This is cauliflower and this is zucchini. What am I talking about? This is fine. I make a blackened chicken Alfredo that doesn't have any dairy. It doesn't have any wheat, none of the bad stuff in it. It's literally, you could eat it on the program. But when you're eating it, it's so good. I'm thinking, oh my God, I should be eating all this pasta. But it's really not pasta.
Yep.
And that's the key.
Yeah. One thing you have on your list that you gave us a list of free vegetables. And I didn't realize how much I've loved like cucumbers and peppers and all these other items. And now, I love making salad. So to me, it's like a culinary journey every week when I go to the produce section of the grocery store and I buy stuff and I make all these crazy fun salad concoctions. And then I add a fun dressing to it. And I eat 2 of those a day. And that's free vegetables.
Yep. That's the beauty with the free foods. So that's why I'm telling anybody that tells me they're hungry, I'm like, eat free foods. You should never be hungry.
Yeah, it's like I do a salad to offset me, before I have my lunchtime meal, and you don't realize you're eating good, but everything tastes so good, so good.
Yeah, that's the key. If you're tasting good, you're happy. But if you're eating, you're eating food. I'm eating this diet, and I am hating it because there's no flavor. It tastes like cardboard. Me myself, I'm not going to do it. I might do it for a day or two, but that sustainability to keep going, not going to be there. And I do this for a living, and so I want to try these things. And if I'm not going to do it, there's no way I can ask somebody else to do it.
Yeah, you're definitely not going to continue to do something that you don't enjoy. So if it's good food that tastes good and you're losing the weight while doing it, yeah, you're going to keep doing it.
For sure.
Oh yeah, that's why I set a new lower goal, because I'm like, I can do it. Like I was terrified the very first time that I met you, and when you told me what I had to eliminate, there was like 6 items. I'm like, I can't do that. I've been eating these items for over 40 years of my life, and you told me get them out of your house. I did exactly that, and they have not returned to my house, and
You don't miss them.
they're not ever going to. No, I'm not ever going to return those items to my pantry or my fridge
Yeah,
because
I
I don't need
mean,
them.
a lot of things that we do is because we've done it. The bad part about it is when you're younger, you get away with it. You don't know what it's doing to your body, just because you're young. And then as you keep doing it and doing it and doing it, that inflammatory response continues to build, and finally it breaks, and then you feel something. And by then you're overweight.
And again, the maintenance plan is what I'm approaching to be on here in a couple of weeks. So by the time midsummer starts, I'll start in the maintenance phase. And I tell you what, I not only do I feel good as a person, but it's such a great feeling when I go and see people I haven't seen in a while, especially since I've moved about 8 months ago down to the area, and I walk in, they're like, "Holy moly, look at you!" Like, I mean, this is a large shirt and it's baggy on me. I'm wearing a size 31 jean right now. I don't think I even wore 31 jeans in middle school. That's yeah. So that's what I say. I go back to when I first started working out, I was at like a 42 weight kind of thing, 300 pounds. Made some changes, did some of the keto stuff in the past, but then again, I plateaued. I get stuck, and that's where your expertise came in with your. And I don't call it a diet. I call it my lifestyle change. That is fully your program. And I joke about this too, because if I have a question about if I can eat something or not, I can text you and you get right back to me. Just so anytime I'm in a bind, I don't have to worry about, do I have to wait till my next appointment? No, I can reach out to you, send you a text or an email, and you get right back to me and say, I would suggest having this in place of it, or something that I now find absolutely delicious. Something you introduced me to is coconut aminos. And
Everybody loves coconut aminos.
Oh my gosh, they're amazing. It's my my soy sauce replacement. It actually tastes better. It's the same exact price, and it's good for you.
Yeah, and it goes with so many things. Yeah.
I did a cauliflower rice stir fry today with chicken and vegetables with broccoli and cauliflower in it, and I worked that all over the top. Oh, amazing.
Yeah, I had the same thing today, Nathan.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
twinning.
We're thinking alike.
Twinning. Like right here. I bring my lunch with me every single day. I pack which again, this is great because actually it saves me money because I don't go out for lunch anymore. So I package up my 1 cup portion of fruit, my salad, which is my free vegetables, and my meal, and I bring it to work every single day. That with my water, and I'm good to go.
And that's a good point that you made too, because have we even realized how much fast food is nowadays? Like, I really didn't really think about it before this program, but I mean, the first time in 7 months when I did go through a drive-through, which I regret doing it because number one, it was expensive, and number two, I felt like crap after I ate it. Of course, we talked about how the whole taste only lasts for so long, but I mean, it's more beneficial to your bank account it's a fraction of the cost whenever you're prepping your own food, and it tastes better too. So
the guy told me today that he and his wife were having a rough day, and so they went through Taco Bell and it spent $43 because of course their weight went up, and I'm like, what'd you eat? And he's like, Taco Bell, and I'm like, all right, well, get back on the horse. And of course they got back on, they lost the weight right back, no big deal. They're actually in the office today, and I'm like, Taco Bell, really? He's like, it's worse than that. We spent $43. I'm like, oh my gosh, you must have had a really bad day. And he's like, well, I had three the tacos.
Yeah, that's what I pay for my produce each week is about $40, and I'm buying organic, fresh produce, and that's
for
a week versus a drive-through. Yeah, I haven't done any fast food in so many months that I don't even know what it costs anymore. I was joking about because I can have eggs with this, and if I make my fried rice, I use eggs. And I placed my grocery order today for delivery, and egg prices are like down for the first time.
Oh, nice.
Who knows when? I was like, I just got a dozen eggs for $3.24. Is that real? Because I'm pretty sure last month I paid $8 for them.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I mean, well, I shop at some higher end bougie places because I think in my mind that it's healthier to do that if I go in that. I don't really have to. But that's why I love when I come to your office. I go to the Aldi
You got
right
Aldi next door.
Yeah, and I stock up. I bring and Mackenzie comes with me, and I bring my bags. I'm like, as soon as we get done, I walk over there. I've got my list, and I go and buy all of my produce. And one cool thing you were talking about how flavoring things up, seasonings dry seasonings aren't bad for you, and you can experiment with all kinds of fun seasonings in your food, so your flavor level goes from here to here. And now I'm like, oh, I just ate that. I want to have more, but I'm full, so I don't need to have more.
Yeah, I think seasoning is the key. I'm a seasoning and sauce kind of guy. That's why I love the coconut aminos. Nathan, you and I talk about everything but the bagel, and now they have more flavors of everything but the bagel.
Three varieties, yeah.
Yeah. So, my favorite snack is sliced cucumbers with everything but the bagel on them.
Yep, I do sliced cucumbers with tahini on them, so it's amazing.
I love tahini.
Yeah, me too. So I said, when I say how easy it is to lose unwanted, unhealthy fat, it's very simple as long as you have the proper guidance. And again, that's where Dr. Brad Morris is a guide to help you, guide you in the right direction for a healthier, happier, and even younger lifestyle. Call him now at 843-962-6855. Or you can book a confidential consultation on his website at lowcountryfatloss.com. But yeah, I'm happy, and I always smile too. But like, I'm genuinely a happier person, and the fact is that my biometric age is now down to 40. Not going to hurt. So I was like,
Here we go.
Get it down to 35. Get me in a lower tax bracket. That's what we're working on. I'm like, well, according to my doctor, because when I first started, hell, I could have gone AARP and retired.
Dr. Morris, other than telling people that they need to jump on the Low Country Fat Loss Program, I mean, it's a no-brainer. What are a few tips that you can share with our listeners for weight loss success?
Well, the first thing is everybody kind of freaks out in the beginning because they have to make a lifestyle change. And I don't remember which one of you said it, but it's not a diet. I hate the word diet because it starts with die. And so it is a lifestyle change. And that's the reason that I hold everybody's hand in the beginning, so that I'm like, listen, it's not as hard as you think. And, it's great with you guys because a lot of people hear you guys and the patients come in, they go, this guy keeps telling me how easy this is. I want to know about it.
Mm-hmm. It really is.
Yeah. The first thing is, don't be scared. And people are like, well, I can't live without this and I can't live without that. I'm like, you're becoming popcorn. You're not you. The amount of food that we eat as Americans is ridiculous. We really don't need as much food as everybody consumes. It's really hard on the system. So it's kind of a tough question, Mackenzie, because I'm like, I talk to people all day long, and I talk to people like you guys that have gone through it. And everybody says, this is a lot easier than I thought. But everybody in the beginning, like, this is so hard. What am I going to eat? And that's why I give these foods. And I'm like, here's the proteins you eat. Here's the vegetables you eat. Here's the fruits that you eat. And here's all the free foods. And here's good snacks. And the recipes are awesome. So the hardest part for everybody is getting started. And once you got the first 2 weeks under your belt, everybody's a little frustrated the first 2 weeks, but they lose the most weight. I'm like, we'll see it.
Oh, like that fast. Yep.
Yeah.
And I said, I saw it in my face.
Losing, 10 to 12 pounds. You're right. It's huge. And if they're really inflamed, they'll drop 10 to 15 pounds in the first 2 weeks. And then they'll stop. And I'm like, and I see it, and I'm like, listen, I saw that you didn't lose weight today, but you got to know that you've lost more weight in the first 2 weeks than you really should. And all that is inflammation. Okay. So don't freak out. They're like, how did you know? And I go, because I keep seeing it over and over again, that we stop all these bad foods for us, and the inflammation goes away. And so we get dramatic weight loss. So I'm really looking for a half a pound to a pound per day. So if you're losing, 10 to 15 in 2 weeks, it's a lot, and it's going to stop for a couple of days. But don't worry, it'll get right back on it. So that's probably the hardest part, is getting started and just going, okay, we're going to eat these foods, and we're going to eat twice a day, and we get all these free foods, and we can have snacks. We should never be hungry. And I think what it is people are in love with their food, and they're like, what am I going to do without my? And I'm like, anytime you call a food I'm like, you don't own that food.
Right.
It is not your food.
And your body doesn't want it either.
No, it doesn't. It's killing you. And so that's what I do love about, how we weigh people and look at metabolic age and visceral fat, because it's probably metabolic age that gets everybody. I tell people that they're 90 and, they're 40, and they're like, well, wait a minute. I'm like, yeah, your body's working like a 90-year-old because of what you got going on. You better do something about it. And like I said, at the end of the day, I want people to be healthy. Everybody else, I just want to lose weight. I want to lose weight. And I go, that's great. But you want to live long and feel good as you live long.
Yep, that's the thing about it. This lifestyle change is not just for the present person, but it's for the future person too. It's not just for you either. It's for your family and your loved ones and the friends and the people that you're surrounded with each and every day. And if I were to add it to anything to that, it's to trust the process, trust the proof, because you got two people right here with that proof, and trust the person that's helping you out each and every day with 24/7 availability for help. And that's exactly where new patients can get that, is from Dr. Brad Morris with the Low Country Fat Loss Program. I don't know why people are waiting to get their free consultation. If they want to give them a call, it's 843-962-6855. Again, that's 843-962-6855.
And it really is easy. That's it. And you are a doctor, so this is, it's not like you're just trying a fad program. You are medically supervised, and you have Dr. Morris at your availability when you need him.
Yeah, I think the key is accountability. Somebody asked me today, because I'm looking and I saw they gained weight, so I sent them a message. My message is simple: what'd you eat? She's like, I feel like you're looking over my shoulder. And I go, I am, all of the time,
because you care.
It's what I want to make sure of is that people are eating what they're supposed to. I want to make sure that they're not having a reaction to a good food, because tomatoes are good food, but it's also a nightshade and people react to them. So I have that in the free food list. So I'm just trying to make sure that people aren't eating things that they think are good for them, but not good for them. Maybe good for Nathan, but it may not be good for Mackenzie. Yeah. So, and I see too many people, my practice is made up of functional medicine patients, and I see the 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, and 40-year-olds that are sick. And at the end of the day, it all relates back to food.
Yeah. And I think from day one, it's not that you're looking over our shoulder, it's that you're in our corner. And from day one, you said, I like to win. So let's win.
Absolutely. Yep. That's it. It's all about it.
So you can call Dr. Morris at 843-962-6855. That's 843-962-6855. He will give you a free confidential consultation, or you can book one online at lowcountryfatloss.com.